Welcome to the Indian food tour, everybody. If you want to see a massive thali with 16 different fixins, then you've come to the right place. So I was strolling around Gandhi Beach deep in the heart of Chennai. I came across this place called St. Thomas Cathedral, which was okay, but I didn't come to Chennai for the churches, baby. I came to Chennai for the chow. So I reevaluated all the sightseeing I was doing and figured I'd best be sprinting on over to a local restaurant. It's a famous restaurant called Junior Kupana, and it's got a fucked up K on the signage, but I'm not gonna let that cloud my judgment. Instead, I'm gonna let the food do the talking. After all, you can't eat a sign now, can ya? Anyway, this place is well known for its vegetarian thali, so I figured I'd give it a go. Now, normally thalis come with about 5 or 6 different fixins, but this one right here, it comes with 16. That's a lot of fucking fixins right there. I mean, I don't even know what half this shit is, but that's part of the beauty of a thali. It's pretty much like a journey of culinary discovery where you can mix and match all kinds of random fixins, then furiously jam them down your throat. Plus, a lot of times when you get the thali, you can get free refills on the rice and the fixins. Basically, it's a good meal choice if you want to eat a lot of tasty, high-calorie foods while barely fucking moving. Anyway, enough with all that chatter. As you can see, there's a shitload of fixins on this plate, and I was getting pretty excited to try it out. In fact, you might even say I was feeling sensually excited. Can you actually fucking blame me? So first up, I figured I'd try out some rice with a little dal on top, aka lentils. I poured that bitch on the top and got ready to start eating with my hand when I remembered I had no hand-eating skills. I guess it's better if I use my handy-dandy travel spoon instead. I mean, the people in India are pretty good at eating with their hands, but I sure as hell ain't. I think I gotta build up my hand skills before I start busting them out on camera. Anyway, I got some of that dal and rice, jammed it down my throat, and oh my fucking stray dogs. I'm usually not a huge fan of the dal, but this was actually a pretty nice dal. It was tasting lightly curried, clean and crisp, and with that rice it was tasting simple yet elegant. I also poured some of this other fixin on the rice, and the maestro told me this was a dal as well. I never saw a dal like that before, but it was looking pretty damn good, so I jammed my handy-dandy spoon in there, then I took myself a bite. And as soon as I bit down on those buck wild beans, I realized I made a good choice coming into this restaurant. I realized I made a real fucking good choice coming into this restaurant. Those buck wild beans tasted like a vegetarian chili, the likes of which I've never had before. It was like a vegetarian chili with a spiced up Indian twist, and I loved it to bits. So what other kind of fixins they got in this place, I figure at this point I might as well just go wild with this puppy. No more pussyfooting around, baby. You gotta eat this thali the way the Hindu pantheon intended. You gotta start mixing and matching those fixins, getting some buck wild flavor combos popping off. So after I got that mofo on deck, I got my handy dandy travel spoon and took myself a nice scoop. And oh my Mahatma Gandhi, that right there was a nice flavor combo. Those off-white colored vegetables were tasting a tad sour. I don't know if they were lightly pickled or what was going on. Couple that with that red fixin, which tasted like some kind of lightly spiced vegetable stew, and you had yourself a winner right there. Long story short, that's a nice fucking flavor combo, baby. What other kind of flavor combos we got around here? Let me pour out some of this okra action. Top it off with a little spiced cauliflower. What the hell? The fucking thing's stuck, and there we go. It actually came out. This is incredible. Come to think of it, I better top this off with a little clarified butter, aka ghee, while I'm at it. I mean, if I'm already gonna be chowing down on tons of tasty Indian treats while barely fucking moving, then I might as well take it all the way. Gotta get those extra cals in. So here we go, baby. It's time to use that spoon and... oh, man, take a look at that. I just switched sides. This time I'm gonna use that fork side. I think it's more suitable, but hey, what do I know? So I got me a little bit of that cauliflower and tried to get some okra, but it wasn't cooperating. And wow, just fucking wow, that cauliflower was tasting slightly crispy and slightly spicy. That's some nice fucking popcorn cauliflower if you ask me. Let me try some of that okra next, so I jammed it down the hatch and whoa, baby. It was tasting soft and delicate, slightly sour and slightly spicy, and I gotta say, I was actually feeling moderately aroused. I mean, this thali is actually a vegetarian thali, and I usually like to eat large quantities of innocent, defenseless animals. But in fact, this thali is tasting so damn good that I actually feel like for 1 hour of my life, I can go without eating animal flesh and still feel pretty damn good. I mean, hey, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to get all new agey on you over here, I'm just trying to say that this thali is tasting mighty nice. So what else we got over here? Looks like we got some Veg Pulao, which is basically like vegetable fried rice. I just gotta get myself some of that dal on the spoonful and take myself a nice, cool, and calculated bite. And surprise, surprise, that flavor combo was tasting both edible and fucking incredible. I thought I'd feel full eating this meal, but with each passing bite, I was feeling more and more hungry. It's almost as though these tasty spoonfuls awakened some kind of animalistic survival urge deep within my soul. So let's take a look and see what other kind of flavor combos we got around here. I think I'm gonna grab this chapati and take a nice dip. We got some random white stuff over here. I don't know what this is, but I figure I'll give it a whirl. So I savagely bit into that chapati and whoa, that was tasting kinda sweet. I think that was some kind of dessert action, so I decided to move on to another fixin'. I didn't know exactly what this fixin' was, but I had a feeling that maybe, just maybe, it could change my life. And as soon as I chomped down, I could tell that fixin' had a rich yet sour flavor. It was kinda strange, but I must say I enjoyed it thoroughly. By the way, let me explain this chapati situation to you. You've probably had Indian naan before, but this chapati is way more common when you're cruising around the mean streets and jungles of India. Basically, the chapati is kinda like a naan, but they don't let the bread rise, so I guess it's easier to make. It tastes like a whole wheat tortilla, if that makes any sense, so let's move on to the next food over here. Here we got a Masala Vada, and I'm topping it off with a little sambar. Now for this item, I'm feeling a tad adventurous, so I think I'm gonna skip out on the spoon and go straight for the hands. So I took myself a nice bite of that Masala Vada, and it was tasting pretty crunchy. It seems like it has some crunchy beans, spices, and vegetables deep fried into it, and I gotta say, that hard crunchy texture is a nice change of pace from the rest of the meal. And next up, the maestro gave me a new fixin'. A bonus fixin', if you will, and he instructed me to pour it on top of that Veg Pulao. And as you can see, we got us some chopped red onions mixed up with some kind of white substance. Let me just mix it up a little more thoroughly before I take myself a bite. Alright, that's basically mixed up enough, so I took myself a pensive bite, and holy shit. Man, oh man, that was a good flavor combo. Those onions got some sour plain yogurt in there, and that together with that veg pulao was tasting delish to the max. Man oh man, was that a calorically dense flavor combo. Suffice to say, I cleared it out at record speeds. And after I polished off that pulao action, I started moving on to this pappad situation. Mind you, I'm not exactly sure what to do with these things. I mean, the maestro told me to put them on top of the rice, but it just seems wrong somehow. I also ripped off a part of that flat piece and slammed it on the top. Then I got me some fixins and started pouring them on top. I think you're starting to notice a pattern here. Step 1, get a huge ass mound of carbs on your banana leaf. Step 2, pour a shitload of fixins on top. I think I'm finally starting to get a hang of this thali lifestyle, and I must say, I like it a lot. Scratch that, I like it a real fucking lot. Now for a second there, I got confused about whether I was eating Indian food or Chex Mix, but I figured I might as well just soldier on, baby. And I gotta say, the fixins themselves were pretty damn good. The flavor combos were mighty fine. I just wasn't into that whole pappad action. What can I say? I guess I'm more of a rice and chapati kind of guy. Perhaps if I gain more reference experiences eating Chex Mix with a damn Indian thali, I'll enjoy it more. But as for right now, it's not really my cup of chaya, baby. So as I was getting toward the end of that thali, the maestro instructed me to mix some of that Indian yogurt and a little bit of Indian pickle. It seemed kinda wrong to mix a spicy ingredient with some yogurt, but the maestro told me to do it. I mean, how can I, as a random whitey, go against the infinite knowledge of an Indian food, maestro? So I gave it a go in good faith, but I must admit it was not the kind of flavor combo that I'm used to. Luckily, that milky, cardamom-y dessert kinda made up for it. It was still kinda strange to drink your dessert out of a dish, but all things considered, that was a nice end to a buck-wild meal. So overall, I must say, this meal was an incredible feast, well deserving of 5 out of 5 stray dogs. It was most definitely the best thali I ever had, and it was an experience I won't soon forget. Oh, and by the way, if you like choice quality South Indian food, then you best be checking out my previous Indian food tour. It's about uttapam and roast dosa, and I got that link in the description box. And as always, thanks for watching this video. Why don't you leave a comment? Let me know what you think.